Good evening. I'm Keisha Butts with the CTV News Update. COVID cases are rising in Maryland, and according to Governor Larry Hogan, COVID variants are driving the increase, especially in the Baltimore area. Meantime, he says Maryland is moving to the Phase 3 vaccination plan. That means any resident as young as 16 can sign up for the vaccine.
Effective today, we are immediately opening pre-registration to Phase 3, meaning all Marylanders age 16 and older. Let me repeat that. As of today, every single Marylander who wants a COVID-19 vaccine can now pre-register for an appointment at a mass vaccination site. Nearly 300,000 Marylanders have already successfully pre-registered, and we encourage all Marylanders to pre-register by visiting covidvax.maryland.gov.
To register, visit covidvax.maryland.gov, or you can call 1-855-MD-GO-VAX. Meanwhile, starting next week, Hogan is requiring local health departments to submit vaccine equity plans to the state. Maryland's COVID-19 cases continue to increase. The state health department reports 1,500 new coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours. The agency today is also reporting 17 deaths. A little over 1,000 residents are currently in the hospital with COVID-19. The Maryland House of Delegates passes a bill that would require extra training for school resource officers. Under the measure, SROs and security staff would receive culturally responsive and mental health training. Also, it prohibits the hiring of SROs if they have a history of excessive force. Delegate Alonzo Washington says he hopes the legislation will reduce the number of arrests.
We wanted to reduce the number of interactions with the police officers, with our students that are not making violent offenses in our schools. And it's important because at this moment in our country's history, we got to make sure that we level the playing field for our students and level the playing field for Black and brown people in this country. And we know that policing has been, the way policing was developed in this country, it was to suppress Black people. And so we can't allow that to happen in our schools.
The measure also calls for school systems to create a behavioral health and safety plan. The Maryland Senate has advanced a wide-reaching police reform bill that has already passed the House. At times, the debate, which ran from Wednesday into early Thursday morning, was contentious. Opponents say the measures go too far and accuse members of the House and Senate of playing games. One provision would create a potential forfeiture of a police officer's pension for committing perjury or a felony. A final vote could come up today. The House and Senate must negotiate their respective packages into one final version to be sent to the governor's desk. Maryland could see more early voting centers. The state Senate passed HB 745, and it now goes to the governor. If signed, the legislation would increase the number of early voting centers in each county, depending on the number of registered voters. It would also set standards for locating election centers.
We've seen election after election increases in the number of people casting their ballots early. Voters like options. They like the opportunity to have different ways to cast their ballot. I think the popularity of early voting is only going to grow, and we need to make sure we have the capacity to make sure people are able to cast their ballot without waiting in long lines.
Delegate Eric Ludke is the sponsor of the bill. He says if the governor doesn't sign the bill, they have enough votes to override it. You're watching CTV News. I'm Keisha Butts. Stay with us.
I am what child hunger looks like in America. I am a 9-year-old boy who hopes a friend invites me to a sleepover so I can have dinner. I am a 15-year-old girl who goes for walks during lunch so my friends won't know I don't have anything to eat. I am a 13-year-old boy who gets into fights at school just because I'm hungry. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 7 American children who struggle with hunger. Kids you pass by every day but never knew they were hungry.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Welcome back. The Prince George's Library System launches a new tool to help residents book vaccine appointments. It's called the COVID-19 Vaccine Hunter Hotline. Beginning today, residents can call the hotline number to speak with a representative who will add you to the vaccine pre-registration list. The Vaccine Hunter Hotline will be available in both English and Spanish. The number is 240-392-3622. Johnson & Johnson says a batch of its vaccine ingredients did not meet quality control standards at a Baltimore facility. According to J&J officials, the issues took place at Emergent Biosolutions in Baltimore. The batch did not advance to the filling and finishing stages of the manufacturing process. The pharmaceutical giant says it still plans to deliver an additional 24 million doses of vaccines through April. The Prince George's County Young Democrats group is hosting a town hall about the proposed maglev project. The event, called Don't Be Fooled by the SC Maglev, will take place tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. The controversial high-speed train would connect D.C. and Baltimore in about 15 minutes, passing through the county. Many opponents say they are worried about jobs, the environment, and mobility.
I just wish we could spend more effort towards increasing mobility of Prince Georgians by, better bus routes, extended rail line down there in Southern Maryland. I wish we could focus on things like that rather than, a luxury project.
Several lawmakers will participate in the event. To view the town hall, visit the link on your screen. As we reported yesterday, Maryland's top leaders have reached an agreement on how to spend funds from the Federal American Rescue Plan. The major components include shoring up the state's unemployment insurance trust fund, supporting pandemic relief, and funds for the safe reopening of schools. In addition, $300 million will be dedicated to major investments in broadband technology.
We cannot and will not let disconnectivity exist in the state of Maryland. That's why we are so excited to be able to announce today a substantial, a historic, a record-breaking investment in order to ensure that we have a resilient broadband infrastructure, both on the physical and on the human knowledge that it takes to make sure that every Marylander can be connected. These appropriations closing this digital divide represent just $300 million that will happen across the state of Maryland to close the digital divide and address the immediate needs, while, most importantly, what we are doing is investing in our state's future. The funds that are allocated for this amendment are tackling the short-term needs, but taking a long-term approach. That is why we are here. We are using the support from the Biden administration, from the U.S. Congress, to close problems today that will set us up for a stronger post-pandemic future.
Funds will also be used for a variety of apprenticeships and employment training programs, as well as critical programs for Marylanders in need. Police are asking for your help in finding a missing person. This is 71-year-old Mark Polnasek. Police say he was last seen at around 6 o'clock last night at the 1900 block of Saratoga Drive in Adelphi. The man, who is 6 feet tall and weighs 195 pounds, was last seen driving a 2014 gray Honda CRV. With Maryland tags 6BR4605, anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call police. A middle school teacher from Montgomery County faces child pornography charges. The suspect is 35-year-old Kevin Brimmerman. He has been charged with 10 counts of possession of child pornography. Investigators found videos and pictures of children on his cell phone. Brimmerman teaches at Roberto Clemente Middle School in Germantown. Police say that the alleged activity did not involve students. He has been placed on administrative leave. And we'll have more news in a moment. Stay with us.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
The coronavirus has affected the African American community in many ways, including a drastic drop in blood donations. This is the time to take care of one another, and blood transfusions from healthy African American donors can be a life-saving treatment for patients with sickle cell disease or cancer. The American Red Cross adheres to the highest standards of safety and infection control and urges you to come out to donate. Please, make an appointment today at redcrossblood.org.
Welcome back. Prince George's police arrest and charge a man in connection with a homicide. 26-year-old William Wells of Capitol Heights has been charged with second-degree murder in the death of Devin Solomon in Landover. It happened late Tuesday night at the 2300 block of Pembroke Circle in Palmer Park. Investigators say the shooting was sparked by an argument between the two. Shortly after the incident, two adults, including Wells, went to the hospital with non-life-threatening gunshot injuries. Wells was released into police custody. The National Parent-Teacher Association revokes the charter of the Maryland PTA. The organization said it worked more than a year to bring the state's charter into compliance with national policies. When those efforts failed, the charter was revoked. The state organization first came under scrutiny after its president faced theft charges. Unrelated to her role on the PTA, local PTAs will still be able to operate as usual. Well, good news for healthcare costs in Maryland. Federal funds from the American Rescue Plan will lower costs for low-income residents, and families will pay nearly nothing for private health plans. In addition, higher-income earners will be eligible for savings for the first time. Now, no household will pay more than 8.5% of its income toward health insurance premiums. The new law also means unemployed workers may qualify for health plans for just a few dollars a month, and COBRA coverage is free for laid-off workers through September 30th. Paper mill owners are hit with a hefty fine for polluting the Potomac River. Owners of the closed Luke paper mill in western Maryland have agreed to clean up toxic pollution that has been seeping into the waterway, as well as pay a $650,000 penalty. The pollutants leaking into the river include black liquor, a caustic byproduct of the paper pulping process, and coal ash waste. The agreement resolves a pair of federal lawsuits with the Potomac Riverkeeper Network and the Maryland Department of the Environment. It's opening day for Major League Baseball, but you'll have to wait a bit if you're a fan of the Orioles or Nationals. The Orioles were scheduled to play this afternoon against Boston, but they were rained out. The Nationals were scheduled to host the New York Mets this evening, but they'll have to wait. One Nats player is not available because he reportedly tested positive for COVID. Several others are out as well because of contact tracing. Because of MLB protocols, the players are not being identified. Well, let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast tonight. Partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain, lows in the 20s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with highs around 46. Saturday, sunny skies with highs in the 50s. Sunday, partly sunny and warmer, highs near 65. And that wraps our CTV News update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Have a good night and stay safe.